you
What
guys
up, my boy?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. How's it going, guys?
Pretty good. I am like really, really happy. Like I have just like the most delighted expression on my face right now.
That's great. I
Yeah.
always love to see people pleased with the directs.
Oh, of
Right?
course.
So much
Yeah,
skepticism around them most of the time, and they're usually pretty good. So it's nice to see one that's a bit
Mhm.
more universally accepted.
Yeah. Um. So I guess I'll just start by introducing everyone. So I'm Nintendo Fire. I'm joined by Nayru and Tyler Townsend, and we're pretty much just going to be discussing, the recent direct that just happened right now. So what are our initial thoughts about the direct?
You can go first, neighbor.
I thought it was great. I was under no illusions that we were going to be getting Breath of the Wild 2, since
Oh
I
yeah,
think
for sure.
it's going to be a Christmas game, so I'm sure
Yeah.
they'll be showing it off at E3. But because I wasn't going under that illusion, I thought it was excellent. I obviously was hoping we get something Zelda, and I was a little sad we didn't. But
I agree. I
there
definitely
was
agree with that.
there was so much awesome that happened there. Anyways, like Fire Emblem Warriors Three Houses is absolutely incredible for me.
Oh yes.
Splatoon 3 looks great, and I'm really glad that Salmon Run's getting an upgrade. All the Mario Kart tracks look really cool. Earthbound on the Nintendo Online program is really great. What else was there? Seeing Metroid Prime or Metroid Dread get post-release support was actually really cool.
I
I'm
agree.
glad that Nintendo, even if it was
Yep.
just something as simple as some additional difficulty modes, it was really nice to see Nintendo give that game a little bit of love after it has released.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I actually really enjoy the bosses in Metroid Dread, and like, I believe they said that they were going to be adding like a boss rush mode. So that's just like, I'm absolutely excited for that. I love the bosses in Metroid Dread.
Yeah, a boss rush mode would actually be very cool.
What?
Other than that, that game Live Alive, I think it was called. I don't know how
Yeah.
to spell it. The
Yeah.
logo was so bizarre,
Oh,
but it looked really, really good.
I remember that. Yeah, I was thinking, like, I really like the sort of charming old JRPG-esque sort of vibes it gave off. Like, I was thinking to myself
Yeah.
while watching that trailer, I should really, like, play some more older JRPGs one of these days.
Yeah, I think that sort of Octopath Traveler sprite work style that companies are starting to take on. I think that needs a name, so I can just stop calling it.
I
It
believe
looks like Octopath Traveler.
I believe they call it like 2.5D or something like that. 2.5D like pixel graphics, something like that.
That makes sense.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, honestly, I'm really excited for Triangle Strategy. Like, Octopath Traveler it was definitely one of my favorite games back in 2018, and it's become one of my favorite games in general. So seeing like more games take on that sort of art style makes me really happy. And one thing that I'm just really hoping for in the future is from Square Enix, specifically on the Switch, is the Octopath Traveler sequel, which Square Enix said they'd be working on like a couple years ago.
Trying up, and it looks pretty cool.
Ooh, yeah. It definitely has those Fire Emblem-esque vibes.
Yeah. I thought it was great. A lot of the little announcements were good. And oh my goodness, Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Right.
I don't know. I'm almost sad that I looked at it because I feel like it's souring my Pokemon experience even more.
Is it
Fair
bad that I
enough,
was thinking
fair
the
enough.
exact same
Turn this- Pokemon hate fest.
For sure.
Yeah.
What about? I mean, it's great to hear your thoughts on that. Like, I'm glad that just the reception has been pretty positive. What about you, Tyler? Like, what do you think about the direct?
I thought it was a very good direct. There's not a lot here for me personally, and not something that directly appeals to you doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad direct, because there's obviously like some bombshell stuff that was shown off here, especially Splatoon 3 new gameplay footage and new Mario Kart tracks for Mario Kart 8, which is something I never would have thought that they would have done, especially for a game that was already re-released. The fact that they're adding a quote-unquote new DLC, even though it's older maps just remastered, is just, I think that opens up a lot of possibilities for Nintendo just in general. And then obviously Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which is just a huge announcement for so many people.
Yeah,
I've never played Xenoblade myself, but like, you know,
I highly recommend it. You better get to playing Xenoblade sometime.
I'll add it to my ever-growing list of games that I need to play. But yeah, I can recognize that as somebody on the outside of the fandom, that's a huge thing for Xenoblade fans.
It absolutely is. I mean, just the Xenoblade series in general. Like, I've loved the Xenoblade series ever since I was very young, and you know, it's the kind of game, it's the kind of RPG that's just got such a massive world with so much lore, so many amazing characters. You just like sink into it, you fall in love. It's kind of like almost Final Fantasy in a sense, where it's just a series that's got so much lore and such a massive universe. And like the storytelling is just so masterful. Like, it's the kind of game that you just fall in love with once you play it.
Yeah, I got into the first one on the Wii.
I
think I got like, I don't know, in total I think I probably got only about the fourth of the way through it, but I put like 20 hours into it. But I just and I moved and got rid of my TV, unfortunately, so I didn't have a way to play it. And then when I finally got a TV, there were so many other games to play that it just kind of fell to the wayside.
Oh, by the way,
fair enough.
Yeah, one day I'll get back into them and I'll try the definitive edition out.
That sounds like a really good idea. But yeah, I mean, at least there was, at least you enjoyed the direct a decent bit, Tyler.
I think there was something in this direct for like, no matter what your like levels of bias are towards this, I think this was a pretty well direct, just because it kind of had something for everybody in it.
Yes.
I loved that little demo they did for volleyball.
Oh my god, man.
That was so cute.
Dude, Koizumi was dripped out. I want that fit that he had on, man. Like, my man's was looking good.
Yeah, and they just looked like they were. It felt like they were embracing Iwata's spirit a little bit more when they did that demo.
It's funny you said that. I literally in my reaction, not to self promote, but in my reaction, I was literally saying that. I was like, I think it's great that Takahashi and Koizumi are really kind of taking up the mantle of Nintendo Direct PR and just really embracing kind of the tradition of being involved with it.
Yeah, and not being afraid to get a little goofy.
Yeah,
I mean, I kind of like it when they sort of indulge in being a little bit goofy. Like, it's just got a sort of Nintendo magic to it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. Because I mean, at the end of the day, most of Nintendo's audience, or most of their target audience, is like, family type games and stuff like that. So like, to be a little goofy and just kind of laugh at yourself really plays into their target demographic. So it'd be kind of silly if they came out there trying to be like the coolest kid on the block, and just like having this chip on their shoulder, and not leaning into what their demographic is.
Yeah, totally.
I completely agree. I mean, I know that for me, I absolutely adored that Direct. Like, that was my favorite Nintendo Direct since, like, the one in February or March last year, the one that announced Skyward Sword HD, since Skyward Sword is my favorite Zelda game. But I also remember that one having, revealing the Pyra and Mithra Smash DLC, which was just huge for me. I mean, I'm not a big Smash person, but it made me really happy to see. And this Direct, this Direct definitely blows that one out of the water for me. Even though the one back then had Skyward Sword, and I love that game to death.
Something that I read on Twitter, actually, that I totally agree with, is that somebody said that the conversation around directs has gotten a lot more pleasant since the Smash Bros. Characters have finished.
That was Trends, I think.
Yeah.
To be honest,
correct.
I kind of like I've enjoyed all of the past directs quite a bit. But even then, and I'm really happy for the people who enjoy Smash Bros. I'm not a big Smash person, so usually when a direct came around, I was essentially just mentally prepping myself to get another Smash announcement that I didn't care much for, at the cost of, another game they might have been able to focus on. I mean, maybe that's a little bit fallacious, but that's sort of how I felt, because I wasn't always the most excited to see all the Smash announcements. But still,
I'm not a Smash guy at all, so yeah, I can relate to that.
But yeah, I really love this direct. When it first started off with that Fire Emblem Warriors announcement, I love the Warriors, gameplay. And just pairing that with Fire Emblem, it works so well. And the fact that they're putting Fire Emblem Three Houses and sort of giving it a Warriors twist just makes me so excited. It makes me excited that I could take control of, one of my favorite Fire Emblem characters of all time, Dimitri, and just absolutely wreck battlefields with him. So
it makes me wonder if it's going to follow suit with Age of Calamity, and we're going to end up getting an ending where everybody gets to live.
To be honest, we probably will, which is unfortunate, because I'd prefer them to go down the more bittersweet Fire Emblem story routes, where there's always, some a decent bit of significant character death at the end, or by the end of the stories. But
sorry, you go.
I'll still be satisfied either way, because it's just I'm just so excited to be playing as all these wonderful characters, and just chaining all these awesome fighting combos together, swinging lances and swords around, just absolutely conquering other armies. I love the prospect of that.
Yeah, I guess the main reason I'm fine with whatever happens, and the reason that Age of Calamity didn't upset me nearly as much as it upset a lot of other people, is because I've always been of the mind of, I already have Breath of the Wild. Why do I need a retelling of the story I already know?
Exactly.
If it does end up diverging from the expected story in the same way that Age of Calamity did, or even if it just starts off telling a different story, I'm totally fine with that, because if I want the original story, I'll just play Hyrule Warriors, I'll play Fire Emblem Three Houses.
I totally agree. Now, did they mark a release date for Fire Emblem Three Houses Warriors? Or
yeah, they sure did. It is coming out in July, I think, June 24th.
Ooh, yeah. That is exciting. That is very exciting. My goodness.
A lot of June releases.
Yeah, it's going to be a stacked year.
I mean, hey, at least at least we'll have the summer to play all of these amazing games.
Yeah, and then they're getting them all out of the way for Breath of the Wild 2 and Christmas.
Yeah, it is 100%. Barring another delay, Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be a holiday game for sure.
Yeah, I've been barking up the holiday 2022 tree for a couple years now. I won't lie, it feels a little validating to see that that's the only place left for it to release.
This year, in my opinion, is really shaping up to be the Switch's next best year, or maybe even its best year in general since 2017. Its launch year, since the launch year had Zelda, it had Mario Kart 8, it had Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and then a number of other games. Odyssey, yes, which all just hit very hard. This year, I believe Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is coming out this year. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Zelda, assuming that's not delayed, Fire Emblem Three Houses Warriors, so that satisfies Fire Emblem fans looking for it, more of the Warriors twist on Fire Emblem. The next game I was going to talk about, Switch Sports. Now, this game, guys, so I believe I told Nayru this on Twitter, but basically ever since I was a kid and ever since the Wii U era, like when I like moved on from like playing my Wii on a daily basis, I was always wishing for like a new Wii Sports game. And when the Switch came out, I was always saying, hey, this is the perfect opportunity to make something called Switch Sports or Switch Sports Resort, because like those two words go hand in hand, so that like they just fit together so well. And as someone who's played Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort for like hundreds of hours, like I've literally memorized so many of the default like Mii characters that exist in those two games on like Woohoo Island and stuff like that. Like I've literally memorized them. That gives you an idea of how much I've played. I've just always sort of wanted Nintendo to like make a new one, and I'm actually really happy that they made a Switch Sports Resort, or not Switch Sports. I should stop saying that. I really hope that they give us Woohoo Island back. Like maybe allow us to explore. I remember Nayru said that earlier, and I remember I've talked with like other people in the past couple years. Like, imagine if they make a new sport, like a new Wii or Switch Sports Resort game, where you pretty much, in order to access all the different sports locations, you'd have to travel around the island to their individual spots. Like, do you guys remember how on Wii Sports Resort, how there was like the sword play sport? Well, maybe you'd have to like run all the way up to the the Coliseum area, or for bowling, go up to the bowling building, or like if you wanted to go canoeing, like go up to where the castle is on top of that waterfall area, like something like that. I've always wanted something like that, but based off of what I've seen, it's like I'm just incredibly excited. I mean, I'm pretty satisfied with what I've seen so far, because I have also wanted Nintendo to put more effort into focusing on the sort of, the Miis. Like, I really like the Miis in the Wii and 3DS era. So, seeing them not have that large of a presence on the Switch, made me a bit upset. But it seems like that'll change, at least somewhat.
Yeah.
I was very excited for Switch Sports. I was also very excited to see that the sword fighting was coming back, and the fact that we're going to be able to play online and do that just makes me so happy, because I spent an ungodly amount of time playing the sword fighting mode on Wii Sports Resort. So yeah, I hope they have ranked, because you guys better watch out, because I'm coming for you.
Oh, I'm gonna be coming for you, Tyler. Do you have every single, or at least most? Remember the stamps? Did you make an effort to like collect all of the stamps, which are basically like the achievements in Wii Sports Resort?
I have not played that game in over a decade, so I have no idea.
Fair enough. I remember.
Yeah, as long as the motion control is decent, that's the only thing. Theoretically, the motion controls should be better, because the Switch is capable of better motion controls. But we've seen across games that sometimes it can be a little bit worse, and sometimes it can be quite a bit better.
I felt like it was worse in like Mario Golf. I remember getting Mario Golf. Well, I actually had a friend who got Mario Golf for me. And I remember trying out the motion controls, and they didn't feel nearly as fluid or nearly as good as, playing golf on the Wii. But as an example, when I played Skyward Sword HD, which I did like 99.9% with motion controls, those felt really fluid and smooth, and I could just press one button to recalibrate.
That was the best. That was the best part, was how easy it was to recalibrate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My dream is that we get to Nintendo motion controls one day where you don't need to recalibrate. My experience having an Oculus Rift has just totally disillusioned me with Nintendo's motion controls. They're just so bad compared to motion controls on even the lowest end of VR headsets.
Fair enough. I totally understand that. I have one VR headset that just came for free with my phone that I got back in like 2018. I haven't used it much, but
those ones where you slide your phone in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I could totally understand how you believe or how Nintendo's motion controls aren't even on par with like VR stuff. I haven't really done that much VR stuff, so I'm still satisfied with the motion controls Nintendo offers us. But I definitely love to see improvements.
Yeah, well, with VR, it's like if your motion controls are lagging, you're gonna vomit, right? So they need to be up to par to keep you from getting sick.
For sure. Also, I do apologize if my voice sounds a little bit hoarse. From time to time, during this call, because I was like screaming my lungs out. When I saw Switch Sports, and not only that, but just pretty much all the other big announcements that I've been very excited for. Like Mario Kart. Now, I know people want Mario Kart 9, but the fact that they're literally doing like almost like a DLC package.
They're doing a Smash Pass.
Yeah, Smash Pass. With all, a bunch of different older tracks. Like, that makes me so excited. I was literally screaming my lungs out. Because I'm just a lover of Mario Kart. Like, Mario Kart over Smash Bros. Any day for me. Like, I am like, not to boast, but I am absolutely a master at Mario Kart. So we should definitely play sometime if anyone's up to challenge me.
Yeah, sure.
Bro, I'm trash at video games, though.
I'm pretty bad.
It's not much of a feat to beat me, honestly.
I guess with the Mario Kart, it was kind of a bittersweet thing. Like I enjoy Mario Kart, but I'm not like a huge fan. Like I'll pick every new one up when it comes out and I'll enjoy it. But like the only time I really bust Mario Kart out nowadays is when I have like my family over, because even my friends don't really play it. But like I have a couple people on my timeline who are huge Mario Kart fans, and the news for them seems to be pretty bittersweet, because this does basically deconfirm Mario Kart 9 for the Switch. They're probably not going to open the avenue of releasing DLC up if they're going to release a 9th game, right? They'd probably just put that effort towards making the 9th game.
That's very true.
Or if we do get a Mario Kart 9, it's going to be at the very end of the Switch's 10-year apparent lifespan. So it'll, at the very least, this confirms we're not getting a 9 for a very long time.
I don't think we'll get Mario Kart 9 till the next console. I mean, Mario Kart 8 is still the best-selling Switch game, and even with this DLC, like that's going to breathe so much life back into the game, which is just going to perpetuate its lifespan even longer. And because Mario Kart sells so well, there's no way. Like I don't think I could see them like releasing it towards the end of one console's lifespan. They would definitely just hold off until the next one, because it's going to sell units like crazy.
Yeah, I kind of agree. It would be Mario Kart 9 would be a system seller, I think.
Yeah,
and it's the kind of thing where if they release a Mario Kart 9 on the end of the Switch's lifespan, and then they come out with a Switch 2 or whatever, and then they come out with Mario Kart 10 for that, most people will probably, like, especially like the casuals that the game is marketed towards the most, they're probably going to be fine just sticking with this Mario Kart 9 that just came out.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that makes a lot of sense. I definitely agree.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Tyler. I want to say one more thing about Mario Kart 9.
Yeah.
Is I was actually really pleased to see them add it for free to the expansion pass.
Likewise.
Yeah, and it makes me feel like the expansion pass is going to be a bit more worth its ridiculous price tag right now.
Yeah.
Because the emulation is definitely not worth the price tag.
Nayru, didn't you hear recently they fixed the water in the area of the water temple where you fight Dark Link in Nintendo Switch Online?
Nice. Now they just gotta fix every other problem that it has.
Maybe fix their server issues just in general, but
Yeah. But yeah, it was nice to see that there was a lot of speculation. I like to talk about how I'm right about a lot of Nintendo predictions, because my inherent skeptical nature usually benefits me. But I want to eat crow, and I want to say that when the expansion came out, I 150% thought that it was just going to be bad emulation forever, and Animal Crossing to make the initial price tag go down. But it seems like I was just totally wrong there, and that they do plan on adding future big DLCs to it for free, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, that is pretty good, honestly. I mean, I know that for me personally, like Mario Kart 8 and Deluxe 2, obviously. One of my biggest issues with that is just the lack of character variety compared to past Mario Kart games. Like, you can't even play as Diddy Kong in it. Like, that should be a crime. That you can't play as Diddy Kong in Mario Kart.
You need Diddy Kong Racing for that.
I actually a long time ago,
please.
I remember playing Diddy Kong Racing on my DS. It was a really fun game.
It was a great game.
Yeah.
Tyler, what were you going to say about the expansion pass?
I was going to say that I think as time goes on, the expansion pass is going to be more and more worth it. As it stands, I still think it's a little pricey for what you're getting, but this definitely makes it more worth the price tag than, before this was announced.
Yeah, for me, it's like I think where the issue might come in is down the road once we get like maybe even a fourth DLC pack added to it. I think there's a very good chance Nintendo might start rotating the old DLC out. Like when we get a fourth one,
right.
Animal Crossing's DLC will get rotated out, and at that point it'll be like pretty bad if everybody loses access to it. But if people who initially had it still keep it after it's rotated out, then that would be fine. That would just be the same as like the PlayStation Plus games.
I agree. Yeah, just in general, I'm just really happy with like they said 48 new courses to Mario Kart 8. So, just as a staunch Mario Kart player and fan, I'm just really happy about that.
Yeah.
What else?
Kirby.
Yes, Kirby looks amazing. Like, absolutely gorgeous. Like, what are our thoughts, on Kirby?
I think it looks great, and I'm super excited for it. I'm a big Kirby fan, and obviously I've always been wanting a proper 3D Kirby, so that enough was to sell me on it. But now seeing his weird swallowing mouthful mechanic.
It's so obvious the Mario Odyssey inspiration on this one, because it's kind of like the same thing with like Cappy, where he's like just controlling it, but like which I like that aspect of it, because it's introducing sort of this familiar mechanic that we know from Mario but into Kirby, but we're also getting the like traditional power-ups and abilities, but we can like almost level them up and advance them to make them more effective, which I think is just super cool, and a really good way to kind of like make the gameplay loop in Kirby a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it sort of looks like from in the trailer, it kind of looks like there's going to be a little bit of environmental exploration that you need your powers for, which I think is really exciting.
Scissor Lift Kirby is my new favorite variation. So
Yeah,
just throwing that out there.
Yeah, it definitely does seem like they are taking quite a lot of inspiration from Mario Odyssey, and I think that's the best possible game for Kirby to take inspiration from. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. That it just because of just its Kirby's just general direction on how it is as a platformer, it just seems like this is the next logical step for them to take with the franchise.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's like the last 4 or 5 Kirby games before the last Switch one were all like super experimental, and they were all really good, but it definitely did seem like they were having a bit of a difficult time deciding which direction to take the series in.
Right.
So I hope this game does well and gives them the direction to go forward.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, it just looks so charming, so lovely. The Mario Odyssey influence really fits right at home, you know?
Yeah.
For Kirby. So it's like, it's probably not going to be a day one purchase for me, but I almost certainly will be getting it down the line. It just looks too good to pass up. I know that one game, like, I really wish they showed, or I wasn't expecting this, but one game I am hoping they get to, you know, at least working on, maybe with Retro Studios or something of the sort. Sometime soon is the next Donkey Kong Country game, because it has been 8 years since the last Donkey Kong Country game, and
well, I don't think that the next Donkey Kong game will be worked on by Retro, because it seems like Retro's tied up in the very troubled development of Metroid Prime 3.
Yeah.
And my guess is they probably need
Metroid Prime 3
or 4, sorry. And the way that project looks is it seems like they're struggling with it, so it wouldn't surprise me if they kind of like need all hands on deck for that. There probably is no B team to work on Donkey Kong right now.
That is
so my guess
true.
Yeah, my guess is that it'll probably be done by Nintendo EAD or one of their other research and development teams.
If that's the case, I really do hope that they get at least some concept artists or level designers from Retro, because the way that the past 2 games in the Donkey Kong Country series have been, the level design is just so genius. I love the environments, and it's just got such a unique, wild aesthetic to it that I really love. So I hope that, like, if Nintendo EAD does end up working on it, they're able to replicate a similar sort of aesthetic, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, totally. So both of you, and I'm going to cry if either of you says no, so keep that in mind. Keep my fragile emotions in mind when I ask this question.
Okay.
Especially you, Tyler. You're a heartless monster.
Yeah.
But when it comes out in April, and April's my birthday month, so your presents to me can be doing this. But you're both going to buy Advanced Wars Remix when it comes out in April, right?
It's a maybe for me as it currently stands. I loved Advance Wars, way back in the day, playing it on the GBA, but right now it's a maybe.
I need that game to sell well, so they bring the series back.
It definitely. So for me, it's also a maybe, but I'm also leaning on the side of okay, how should I word this? I'll definitely be picking it up if I really feel like it's going to pique my interest. I mean, I really like what I've seen of it so far. I've never played the original Advance Wars either, so it would be like a fresh new experience for me. And it's
perfect.
It's got like a charming art style going on, so it seems like there's lots to love.
Plus, you can see the Advance Wars games came out after Fire Emblem, but that series, like the Wars series, came before Fire Emblem. Ooh. So you can get a little bit of experience of Fire Emblem's grandpappy.
Okay, that's another reason to get it. I'm gonna keep that in mind.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I'm so excited for those games, and I dearly, dearly, dearly hope for the Advanced Wars series to come back in earnest. So I really hope that it does sell well, and I was glad to see them included in this direct, because it feels like Nintendo is sort of just sending the game out to die with how little marketing it's been getting.
Right. Yeah, I completely forgot that the game had been delayed, if that tells you anything.
Yeah, exactly. So I was very pleased to see it.
I don't even remember the game being delayed. Which might.
And if this discussion makes it live, everybody watching it, go buy it, please.
That's right.
I'll personally thank you.
Nayru has great taste in video games.
Just want my tanky boys to finally be back, Splatoon 3, we already talked about Splatoon 3 a bit, but there wasn't really much new shown. It was just that Salmon Run is coming back, which I think was kind of a given. But it looks great. I will
say, as someone who's really unfamiliar with Splatoon, I've played it a couple times, just the idea that there's this co-op PvE activity in it, that looks like it's getting, kind of like a revamp and is getting more content added to it. That's a big win in my book, just because I think that's gonna be a really big selling point for a lot of people that might not necessarily just want to play strictly multiplayer type stuff.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I've always been under the impression that just multiplayer games or multiplayer shooters in general, they feel much more alive and interconnected when there's not just like a PvP mode, but there's also a PvE mode.
Yeah. Well, and it also, like, the story for Splatoon 1 existed, but there really wasn't much to it. And then the story for Splatoon 2 was quite a bit better and quite a bit chunkier, but still mostly served as a tutorial for online. But then the DLC came out and like had like a really good story offering. My hope is that Splatoon 3 continues the trend and we get like a chunky single player right off the gate for people who don't necessarily love online to still have their purchase justified.
I agree. I personally never got the Splatoon 2 DLC, despite playing, for around like 50 hours I have on like my Switch playtime for it.
Yeah, it slaps. It's a great DLC.
Yeah, no, I've heard it's like really, really good, and I love the aesthetics of it. I love how like apparently there's like a subway you spend your time in or something like that. I'm not entirely. I don't know. Just forget about that, I suppose, if that's not an accurate description of anything you do in the DLC.
Tyler, do you have Splatoon 2?
Yeah, I do.
We gotta hit
were you
Salmon Run with Xeno that one day.
Yeah. Didn't we played? You were there, weren't you? Like, we did the stream. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just couldn't remember if you were there or not.
I'll join you guys.
I have the memory of the goldfish. Yeah, I don't think that there's a team limit, so by all means.
Sounds great.
Yeah, Salmon Run's great. So,
yeah.
And then the last thing I think that we didn't discuss that I don't think any of us are really familiar with, except for me a little bit, but the Chrono Cross is getting a remaster for the Switch.
I've heard about that series, and apparently it's got like a legendary sort of legacy. Or maybe that's Chrono Trigger, or maybe it's both of them.
Chrono Trigger is the sequel to Chrono Cross.
Okay, that is very cool. I mean, I'm not that familiar with the series, but like for people who are into Chrono Cross, that sounds like a great announcement. Like, I'm really happy for those folks.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Tyler?
The only thing that I know about that series is just how good the music is. That's literally all I know about it.
So I've played Chrono Trigger, and its reputation is justified. It's a masterpiece of a game. But I've never touched Chrono Cross. My coworker at McDonald's, who was at the time a bit of a stoner, lent it to me, but there was just no discs in it when he gave it to me. And then I was like, hey man, there was no discs in it. He's like, oh, they were in my Resident Evil case. So he brought me Resident Evil, and there were no discs in his Resident Evil case. Neither time he thought to check.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so I never got to try Chrono Cross out as a result. So,
jeez,
but amazing. That actually makes this announcement very exciting for me because I've never played Chrono Cross, so now I can play it on the Switch.
That's great. That's really great.
But yeah, Chrono Trigger is like a must-play game for everybody. It's like fundamental. What's the word?
There's a little Frog Knight guy, isn't there?
There sure is. He's amazing.
I love that guy.
But yeah, I think it's like required viewing, because so many games were directly inspired by it. That if you play Chrono Trigger, you'll understand a lot of your favorite games a bit more.
I see. I'll definitely have to give it a try sometime.
Mm-hmm. And it's not that long.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
It's on the Switch, isn't it?
I think so.
Oh, damn. Okay, so I could just get it on my Switch. Perfect. Definitely look into it at some point. Now, I'm not sure if there's anything else we should cover. But the one biggest announcement for me was Xenoblade Chronicles 3. This trailer had me so hype. Like, it seems like it's going to be the perfect sequel to not just Xenoblade Chronicles 1, but Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as well. And I was considering doing like a trailer analysis or dissection, for what they showed of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 so far in that trailer, because there is a ton of references to both games. And this game, like, if Monolith Soft, like, I have no doubts that Monolith Soft will make this game an absolute masterpiece. I love this series with all my heart, and it tells some very, very amazing stories.
Yeah, Monolith has kind of turned into a bit of a Chad developer. Like,
they are
swinging around and helping all the other developers out.
I mean, to be honest, Monolith Soft has always been a Chad developer. People just haven't realized it.
Yeah, I guess what I mean is they've been given a chance to really thrive with Nintendo now.
Yes, I completely agree. I'm just extremely excited. I mean, other than, like, I know you, Nayru, earlier said that you played, like, the first quarter or so of the original Xenoblade Chronicles. What about you, Tyler? Like, do any of you guys have any more experience with Xenoblade Chronicles? Or I remember Tyler, he said that he played a bit of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Or
no, I haven't played any of them.
Okay, yes, I told you should play it. Okay, so I guess there isn't that much for me to say here, only that, like, I am ludicrously excited, and I'm sure countless other people are as well.
I have a lot of Xenoblade fans on my Discord, and they're going wild right now.
I'm sure their voices are just as hoarse as mine is.
Xenoblade fans are some of the most passionate fans I think I've ever met in a game series. It's pretty nuts. I think there's a reason for that. The reason being is because historically Xenoblade has been such a niche series because it's got such a unique like battle system, and it's got lots of unique game mechanics, and usually it can take a while to actually learn them. And so, just the amount of time it takes to learn all the systems and things like that, it might turn people away. And then, not just that, but like with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, a lot of people weren't, a big fan of the whole gotcha system.
Gotcha system, but also just like all the fan service they put into the game. And I remember being skeptical.
They didn't like the anime titties?
Some people do probably, but others it might not be their cup of tea.
I fall into that category for sure.
I mean, so do I. I am also a fellow man of culture, but I also want characters to look more believable, more realistic.
They're definitely.
I'll just say it, man. Pyra and Mithra, they baddies, dude.
They baddies, definitely.
I don't play the games, but I can appreciate the artwork.
No, I know.
There was definitely a big jump in fan service between 1 and 2.
Yeah, definitely. But like I remember being skeptical at first because I didn't, before Xenoblade Chronicles 2 released, because I was really worried the direction that this game was going to take, and I was really hoping to myself, I hope this isn't just going to be some typical anime fan service heavy game that just reels in players just because of anime titties. A lot of, and that's a criticism that a lot of people had of the game initially, and some people still hold that opinion. But when I played it, it's so easy to just ignore that part of it and just like appreciate all the characters for what they're like, things like that, because the story is, and the music, and literally nearly all of the characters are so, and the world itself, like it's all so phenomenally put together. It's literally a masterpiece, and just because of how good like everything is, the characters, the story, the music, the world, because of how good all these things are, you know, it's just so easy to look past whatever, you know, little flaws you could nitpick.
Yeah, I actually watched an hour-long video essay about sexualization in Xenoblade 2.
I think I've watched the same one a while ago.
Yeah,
It's pretty popular.
So yeah, it's a good video.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
I
think one of the main reasons I sort of bounced off, didn't have a huge urge to get back to Xenoblade, the first one, is because I had just finished beating Final Fantasy XII, and the gameplay in Final Fantasy XII and Xenoblade are extremely similar, where it's that sort of MMO style of auto-targeting your enemies and then just focusing on skills.
Yes. I know what you're talking about. I could totally get how you wouldn't, you know, have wanted to get, or, you know, dive into Xenoblade right after Final Fantasy XII. I'm not that familiar with...
I guess I was just kind of burnt out on that sort of auto-attacking, skill-based combat.
After playing games like that for a while, like, you gotta go to something else. Like, usually if I play, like, an entire playthrough, let's say, you know, an entire thorough playthrough of, like, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, or any other sort of, you know, RPG that's got that same sort of gameplay system, I'll usually feel like playing something more sandbox-based after that.
For me, whenever I play something really long and rigid, I will replay Metal Gear Solid Revengeance for the 99th time, and just cut dudes into pieces with my samurai sword, and then I'll feel better.
That's stress relief right there.
Yeah, it was the most stress reliefy game of all time. Even just play the first mission of that game where you're cutting through entire skyscrapers that people are throwing at you, and then you'll feel better at the end.
That sounds like a game I should play.
It's pretty wild. You don't need to know anything about the Metal Gear series to enjoy that game. Just appreciate that's cutting everything with your sword.
Yeah, I mean, I remember playing the Phantom Pain for a while, and I remember enjoying it a decent bit, but I never played too much of it. Like, I never beat the story or anything. But it was a pretty fun game.
Yeah, Revengeance is like a spin-off, and it's barely connected to the other ones. It's pretty much just Swordman makes things go boom.
Fun. That sounds very fun.
Yeah. I got a question for you guys.
Yeah?
Other than the obligatory Breath of the Wild 2, because I know we were all disappointed that it wasn't there.
Actually, I wasn't disappointed that Breath of the Wild 2 wasn't there because I wasn't expecting it. I was thinking...
Well, I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting it either, but of course I would rather it have been there than not.
That's true.
Yeah.
We could all agree.
But my question,
yes,
is, other than Breath of the Wild 2, is there anything you guys were disappointed that you didn't see?
Bayonetta 3.
Yeah, me too. That was mine.
Oh, I've got one. A proper, like, a new either remake or like a fresh new entry into the series entirely, Fire Emblem game. Not just a Warriors type of game, but I'm actually hoping for like the next step in the series, whether that's going to be like a remake. Hopefully their next remake is going to be a Genealogy of the Holy War remake, because in my opinion,
sweet.
That's just such an amazing Fire Emblem game.
It absolutely is.
Or just a new Fire Emblem game entirely. I would have been happy either way. But, you know, I was just a tiny bit underwhelmed that we're just getting a Warriors title on Three Houses instead of, like, a completely new Fire Emblem game.
Well, I'm totally okay with that because I adore those characters, so any chance to spend more time with them is good for me.
Oh, I completely agree.
I think that I don't think we're getting a remake, because if we were getting a remake, I think it would be done by now. So I think they're probably working on their next full-scale Fire Emblem game, which I think will probably, after how well Fire Emblem Three Houses sold for the series, I think they probably want to give it its own breathing room. So I'm expecting that to be a 2023 game. They don't want to make it compete against Zelda and Kirby. So
that's a good idea.
No, definitely not. This year's so stacked. I think anything that's like big name like that is probably going to be pushed off. Like outside of like maybe a Mario game, which is still kind of like iffy. I think this year's kind of already set.
The more I think about it, the more I just really appreciate just how well we're eating this year. Like, we just got Pokemon Legends. We're going to be getting Switch Sports. We're going to be getting Kirby. We're going to be getting...
we got Dread. Oh, no, that was last year.
We're going to be getting, new Mario Kart tracks. We're going to be getting Splatoon 3. Advanced Wars, which I know, some people like you, Nayru, are looking forward to, and hopefully other people as well.
Hopefully.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Obviously, Zelda, assuming it isn't delayed. And probably, just a handful of maybe other titles that we just haven't seen yet. Like, I'm expecting maybe some big titles to be shown at E3 that will launch before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Or maybe this year, E3 will just, solely or mostly just focus on Zelda. That could be it,
But yeah, Tyler, I totally agree. I was very much hoping to get some more Bayonetta 3 news, maybe a release date finally. So I was sad to not see it there.
It is scheduled for this year, is it not?
Maybe I didn't see a release date, but that would be happy to hear. I would be happy to hear that. Especially after the news I heard recently about Platinum refocusing their efforts to live service games.
Oh
that's
breaks my
really
heart
weird.
into a million pieces.
I mean, it's
so
really
Bayonetta 3 very well may be one of the last truly great Platinum games we get. So I am really eager for it.
It's really weird to have seen a company outright just say, "Hey, we're no longer going to make high quality single player games anymore."
Yeah. I think that Destiny 2 is a good game, but I also think that Destiny kind of fucked the industry up. And
I completely agree.
Yeah, I think Destiny 2 has messed the industry. Destiny has messed the industry up in a lot of ways.
It is as a devout Destiny player, he says, as he hasn't played it in the past year. It's become. This is a whole nother topic and discussion in and of itself, but Destiny feeds on the addictive, the addictive personality traits that you get from the dopamine rush you get from something that's addictive, and they found a way to make that lucrative within its gameplay, and I will commend Destiny on this. The gameplay is absolutely outstanding, and there's not many other live service games out there that can replicate it. And that's the issue with Destiny 2, is because people have seen how successful it can be at it, but they can't replicate its success. And so that's where you have all these games that are trying to be the quote unquote Destiny killers. And they just fail horribly. You look at Anthem or The Division. There's so many games out there that try to do the Destiny formula, and they're just not successful with it. Which is why seeing Platinum games kind of go that direction is very concerning, because I've seen it time and time again with all these companies that try to make the next Destiny, and they're just not successful.
My hope, not to say that I'm a big acquisition fan, because God knows I'm not, but my big hope is that their new live service game Babylon Fall just flops terribly, and it completely puts them off that path. And I know a lot of people are worried that they'd go bankrupt, but my hope is that Nintendo would just acquire them at that point.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that they just haven't already, because you look Bayonetta is so heavily intertwined with Platinum's identity.
It wouldn't surprise me if they've tried, but Bayonetta likes to make games that are a little bit more mature than I think Nintendo is comfortable publishing. Because Bayonetta 2 is obviously pretty adult, but it's nothing compared to some of the stuff you see in games like Nier. So My thought is that they probably just don't want to sacrifice the autonomy they have being a independent company. But obviously, if they are about to go bankrupt, that will change.
Nintendo just needs to stop being prudes.
That's also true.
I agree with all of this. And just going a little bit back to the topic of like just the business structure that Bungie has for Destiny. I am, that kind of business structure makes me even more grateful for Monster Hunter, because instead of dropping a $20 bill to get a piece of armor, I can just kill a monster a ludicrously high number of times, and eventually I'll have enough to turn this giant dragon into a pair of boots.
That's true.
How I like it.
Although Monster Hunter has a lot of business practices of its own that I can critique, and I say that as a massive fan.
Oh,
like,
no, I agree.
Saving hard mode for a separate purchase every single game.
Yeah. I mean, even back like in the old days of Monster Hunter, they were doing that with like the quote unquote ultimate versions. Because they at least they didn't do that in the West though. Because I remember in the West. They only released the ultimate versions of the games. Like, as an example, Monster Hunter 3. That was just, Monster Hunter.
We got a try. We didn't get 4. Yes. We didn't get base 4, but we did get base 3.
That is
it was
true.
on the Wii.
Okay. Yeah, no, I remember that. Okay, no, I guess that is an accurate statement. Yeah, no, that is a fair critique. And then, not only that, but, just with, World and Rise both, just... Have you seen like the little shop they have for small cosmetics and things like that?
Oh yeah, it's stupid. Like, I'm glad that they keep it to cosmetics that I don't really care about. So,
agreed.
All the really cool stuff comes for free in the form of event quests, which I do appreciate.
I mean,
but it's totally silly. $5 for an emoticon pack.
Exactly. For me though, there's only one thing I've bought out of that list in Rise, and that was a music pack that had Yukomo Village, Berna, Kokoto Village, because of nostalgia. And I pretty much made, how you could change the music in, the village? I made that the Kokoto Village.
Here's a little edgy Monster Hunter take for you. As somebody who just put their 200th hour into the very first Monster Hunter game on PC, or on PS2, Kokoto Village sucks. It's like the lamest village ever. I know that's edgy, but I think it's terrible.
Fair enough. I just really I really like the vibes of it. I like the sort of...
It's just brown dirt. There's nothing to it.
No, for sure. I can understand that. I don't know. I guess the way that they have Kokoto Village, like, existing in Generations and Generations Ultimate as an example, it contrasts with the other locations you can go to. I just really wish in Generations Ultimate they made Valhabar a place you could go to. And even Dundorma. I miss Dundorma.
I have a section in my video I'm working on for the first Monster Hunter game where I just spend 5 minutes pooping all over Kokoto Village. And that town has such a big place in so many classic Monster Hunter fans' hearts that I know that I'm going to get yelled at for it. So I just think it's lame.
Outrage clicks. Outrage clicks.
He's a contrarian.
It just reminds me of like those like crappy little roadside towns that you drive through on road trips where there's nothing to see but mud and dirt. That's what Kokoto Village. There. Oh, there you go. Right? That's what Kokoto Village reminds me of. It's just boring.
Yeah, I get that. To be honest though, I'm not sure if I share the at least recently the sentiment about not like, obviously it's, no one likes it when companies charge money for DLC. But I actually don't mind what they did like recently with Iceborne as an example in the past couple of years. Obviously
Iceborne was good.
Iceborne is phenomenal. I've spent so much hours in that. So if every
G expansion was how Iceborne was, I would be fine with it. But the problem is that they're not all like that. A lot of them don't include like a chunky story section in a new locale. Most of them are just, here's all the same monsters you fought and a couple new ones, but now they're harder.
But I'd also definitely say cut some slack, or at least in my own opinion, because Monster Hunter World was the game that came out like right before Rise, so maybe they have this sort of, they've changed up their priorities where they they're going to put more effort into the DLCs or the DLC.
Yeah, I hope so.
Sunbreak, I'm pretty sure, is going to introduce a new locale.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think we're going to Argosy finally.
Ooh,
but yeah, no, I'm still super excited for Sunbreak. I'm just I do not think that Capcom is off the hook when it comes to criticizing monetary practices.
Oh, absolutely,
especially in Monster Hunter.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I don't want to keep this video running for too long, but there is one last discussion / question I want to ask you guys, and if you guys were to all individually choose one favorite announcement from the Direct today that you're most excited for, what would it be, and why?
Tyler can go first.
Switch Sports, just because I'm blinded by nostalgia.
Actually, Wii Sports is still a really great quality game, so you know.
No, just my excitement for it is just because I enjoyed the game so much. So regardless, I was just so excited to see that this franchise is back.
Let's hope we can run around Woohoo Island, because I miss Woohoo Island so much. I'm
sure. All right, I got mine. Disney Speedstorm.
Really? Are you serious? Okay.
No.
I was gonna say, after spending a decent bit talking about Advanced Wars a couple times, Disney Speedstorm or whatever it's called.
Just can't wait to race as Mulan, No, easily it's
great typhoon.
Yeah, exactly. That better be the background music for that level. Obviously for me, it's definitely Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Because I love the Warriors games quite a lot. I mean, I love them so, all the spin-offs I've played, I've loved them so much that I've started getting into the actual Dynasty Warriors games now, because I just can't get enough.
That is impressive. I mean,
yeah,
whenever you can continue. I'm gonna just say this for afterwards.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I love the Warriors games, and I love Fire Emblem. I really enjoyed the first Fire Emblem Warriors, even though I haven't played enough of it. But so I love Fire Emblem. I specifically love Three Houses and those characters more than any other. I love individual characters in other Fire Emblem games more, but I don't love any collection of characters more than I do the Three Houses characters. So it's just it's a match made in heaven for me. I cannot wait. So
I completely agree. I mean, Fire Emblem Warriors seems like it's going to be, or Fire Emblem Three Houses Warriors seems like it's going to be such a great game. And just the Warriors games in general, the ones that I've crossed with Nintendo franchises, have just been so addicting. Literally, if I have nothing to play, and I, want to play something that I know I'll just have lots of fun playing and be so super excited about, it'll usually be either Age of Calamity or just the base Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition.
Oh yeah, I have 250 hours into my Definitive Edition copy of Hyrule Warriors. Jeez. And I still haven't cleared all the Legends maps out yet. So,
I've been working on the Twilight Princess one myself, and Wind Waker maybe.
Yeah, I've been picking. I for whatever reason I kept putting the Majora's Mask map off, so I'm picking my way through that one now.
I gotta catch up. It's so much fun.
Yeah. I love it.
But yeah, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. What were you gonna say about the it making me play the original games?
That's impressive. Just loving the Hyrule Warriors and Fire Emblem Warriors and Age of Calamity. So much that you start playing the original Dynasty Warrior games. I haven't done that myself. I'm sure I'd love the gameplay, but for me, I just feel so invested into the, as an example, the Zelda characters, that it's just instant pleasure every time I am just demolishing a battlefield of bokoblins and moblins as Girahim or Zant or Midna. I like to play as Twilight Midna a lot in Definitive Edition, so just as so much fun. Top tier waifu.
And it actually goes further. hold on one second. I gotta mute myself real quick. Okay, I'm back. It actually goes further because not just have I gotten into Dynasty Warriors, but I've actually started reading the stories that the Dynasty Warriors games are based off of.
Oh. Are they like historic texts, or are they like actual like stories and books, like literature?
They're all like ancient Chinese characters.
Yeah, I know about this one character. Like, this one character that I knew about, like, you know, the actual person. Do you know about Lu Bu? All I know is that Lu Bu is like was a Chinese warrior a long time ago, and he's a character in Dynasty Warriors as well. That's what I know.
Yeah, yeah. So the name of the story that he's from is Records of the Three Kingdoms, and it's like this just absolutely massive, like pseudo historical ancient Chinese text that just tells the stories of all the characters that the Dynasty Warriors people are based on. It's very dense, so I've been reading through it, but I've also been listening to a podcast where like a Chinese scholar retells the story in a more narrative format, because a lot of it is just like 5 pages of names, which is obviously not the most enjoyable thing to read. But yeah, like Lu Bu, Dong Zhuo, and all those characters that I heard so many memes about beforehand. I find when someone says nobody escapes Lu Bu, I finally understand what they mean.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, and all that was because of Hyrule Warriors. I just fell in love with it so much. So.
Yeah, it's a great game. I'm honestly happy to hear that. Now I know for me, my favorite announcement from today definitely has to be Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Nothing is going, like, there's a very real possibility that I'll end up preferring Xenoblade Chronicles 3 over the Breath of the Wild sequel, just like I did Xenoblade Chronicles 2 to Breath of the Wild. Like, just very slightly, because obviously, you know, Zelda's got a better world and things like that. But I just love this series so incredibly much, and
Breath of the Wild isn't even a top 5 Zelda game for me, so I don't have too hard of a time believing that.
For sure. I'm not sure if it's top 5 for me. It might be. I've recently been trying to appreciate it more, but then, you know, there's also a lot of just nitpicks I have with it.
I still really love
still a really great game. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I still love Breath of the Wild. I prefer every other 3D game except for Twilight Princess more.
Tyler is just feeling pain right now.
Yeah, I like it significantly more than Twilight Princess. We have that at least.
Well, Tyler, if it makes you feel any better, I prefer Twilight Princess significantly more than Breath of the Wild.
I live in a state of constant agony.
Well, maybe if you quit playing Twilight Princess, that would stop.
Wow. This guy.
This guy.
That game does nothing but cause agony, so.
But yeah, I am just incredibly excited. Like, from the looks of it, it's going to tie in what they call the Mechon, which are these mechanical enemies in Xenoblade Chronicles 1, and the Titans, which are pretty much these giant creatures that everyone lives on. They're gonna tie both of these things together.
Are they gonna be ripping around in ODM gear?
I just realized that sounds a lot like Attack on Titan.
That's because that's what they're called in Attack on Titan.
Oh, no, I know. But I thought you figured it, you know. Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
Sorry.
No, that was a good joke. Sometimes I can just be awkward at responding to jokes, even if they're good, though. So my apologies. That's my bad. Yeah, no, I get the joke.
Gotcha.
I'm trying so hard to refrain from talking about Attack on Titan right now.
Yeah, no, I get that. Man, yeah, maybe we should just make an entire separate video just geeking about Attack on Titan. But anyways, yeah, I'm just very much looking forward to Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Like, I really, really hope that they just open up, like just sell a really nice beefy special like pre-order package for like the hardcore Xenoblade fans that I definitely get my hands on that. So
I'm also really happy that Breath of the Wild 2 wasn't announced today, because I do not have the energy to spend all night on video right now. So
fair enough.
Right, that's literally what I was saying. I'm just like, God, I'm trying to get through Legends Arceus so I can write a proper review of it, and I'm just like, that's gonna, if I spend most of my time making like a billion videos on a new trailer, Legends Arceus is not gonna get completed anytime soon.
I mean, I know that, like, I definitely look forward to making a Legends Arceus video. I've been considering it for the last while, though. I've been working on a Skyward Sword philosophy video, and it's kind of dense. So I'm trying to explain, a lot of little details in a way that I figure most viewers would understand. And I'm just like constantly going back to parts and trying to make sure that everything is clear and proper. So that's just been a struggle in of its own, but it'll be ready soon enough.
Is your YouTube channel Nintendo Fire?
Nintendo Fire, yes.
Make sure I'm subscribed.
Yes. My last uploaded video was one from like quite a decent while ago. It was talking about my my top 10 videos or top 10 games. Yeah.
You gotta actually upload one of these conversations.
Oh, I'm going to do that with this one. Just you wait. You're gonna see it on my YouTube channel when very soon. If it's not tonight, it's going to be up tomorrow night or earlier than tomorrow night.
Yeah, because I was looking at the last one, I never saw it get uploaded. So
yeah. No, a lot was going on around that time, unfortunately.
That's fair.
This one's absolutely going up, so just look forward to that. And yeah, so Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is my favorite announcement from today's direct. Tyler's, yours is Switch Sports, which I also cannot wait for, and then Nayr's, yours is Fire Emblem Warriors, which is going to be absolutely amazing. Honestly,
and I do think it's cool that there's such like a wide range of games for people to be super hyped for. From this
I agree. I mean, that's precisely why I asked the question I did just now. So I guess my question to any viewers would be like, what is your favorite announcement from the most recent Nintendo Direct, and why? So just
why is it Advanced Wars?
Yeah, why is it Advanced Wars? Let me know down in the comments.
Yeah. And how excited are you to buy Advanced Wars, people in the audience? Because you will be buying it. It's a threat, not a request.
You will be spending your money on Advanced Wars. And you will enjoy it.
When did you first discover that you were going to buy Advanced Wars?
Was it just now?
Let us know it down in the comments.
How does it make you feel that you are going to be buying Advanced Wars?
Yeah, and that your agency in this situation has been taken away. Just get your wallet out and put that pre-order in.
The world is truly a determinist world. You're determined to buy Advanced Wars.
I should do a thing where every time someone gives me proof that they bought or pre-ordered Advanced Wars, I'll add 10 minutes onto my Tingle video.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot that you were working on a Tingle video.
That's what I should do. People can, even if they don't care about Advanced Wars, they can just buy it to torture me.
For sure.
Or no, what I should do to really get the money is I'll make a video praising Twilight Princess, and then every time someone buys a copy of Advanced Wars, it'll be a minute longer.
I noticed how it went from 10 to 1 minute.
Absolutely. Man, that Twitter thread I made, I had to dig deep to find things to praise.
I was just so happy to go through and like every single one of those tweets.
Man, I couldn't help but put in some backhanded praise, but as long as it's still praise.
You gotta take what you can get.
Exactly. At the end, I was like on the Wikipedia page looking at things, being like, okay, what do I like?
The heart container design is pretty.
Yeah, I pulled up. I did that. I was like, I like the icon redesigns for some of the items. was one of the ones I listed.
All right, yeah, for sure. This has been like an incredibly fruitful discussion. I'm really like I'm just so happy that there's just so many games to look forward to this year.
Even outside of Nintendo. Like,
even outside of Nintendo. I mean,
general.
isn't Elden Ring coming out soon? A bunch of people are excited for that.
End of this month.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Horizon Forbidden West next week.
Gran Turismo 7 in March. Oh my goodness.
I got
God
money
of
set.
War Ragnarok.
I got money set aside for Elden Ring. Can't wait.
I really need to make some more money. I am not dropping over $100 on these AAA games from companies other than Nintendo. I'll just wait a couple months until they go on sale for like 60% off.
Laughs an American.
Yeah. I have very few companies, being a fellow Canadian, that I buy games on release from, but From Software is better than Nintendo in my opinion. So they are absolutely a company that I will buy day one from. I've literally never disliked a game they've released. So
the real question you have to ask yourself is, do you trust George Railroad Martin to deliver you a fruitful story?
Oh God. I mean, this is one with an ending, so yes, I do trust him.
Is it bad?
As far as we know.
Is it bad? I don't know who that is.
Oh, he's the Game
No,
of
it's a
Thrones
good thing.
author.
It's a great thing you don't know who that is.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The guy who wrote the books Game of Thrones are based on.
Oh, I see.
Speaking of, I actually wanted to show this. I'll save this for after the conversation's over.
For sure. Like I just wanted to just wrap everything up with a nice bow on top. And just say that was like a very fruitful discussion. Wait, Nayru, before I wrap things up, did you want to say this for the video or after the video?
Oh no, it was just a Game of Thrones thing.
Okay. I just want to say this was a very fruitful discussion, and thank you to all of our viewers who have been faithfully watching this video. I hope you're just as excited for all the wonderful games coming out this year, just as we are. And yeah, so it's been such a pleasure to have you guys to talk with you guys about the latest Nintendo Direct and the upcoming games. So thank you so much.
Absolutely, man.
All right, well, I'll see you guys in the next video.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.